Greetings, everyone. I pray you're all well and in the best of health, enjoying the many blessings of God just by being here. I wanted to come before you today and just share some stuff with you about my personal journey. As I meditate and I reflect back on my own journey in life, I think to myself, wow, I came a long way. Today I was talking to a young lady. Well, I'm always talking to youth and young people, and it seemed like God puts so many people in my life at the right time, and it just keep on growing and growing in me, the passion of what I am doing and how I'm able to inspire and help others and just impart what God has given me to share with them, for them. And the ability to be used by him, I am just so very grateful. I think to myself, of all the people he could have chose, he chose me. We are all chosen for one reason or another, to do one purpose or another. This is why I love what I do. I am more in love with my people and operate at the capacity of such a great level as I grow and mature more and more with time, age, and go closer and closer with my connection to God. And particularly thinking back when I was a young girl and my desire to always know God. I would gather my cousins up, my younger cousins, and we would go to church on Easter Sunday. And before we started off the day, contrary to all the things I did do as a little girl, for some reason I've always had a deep connection to God. So when Easter Sunday came around and we would get dressed up and put on our Sunday best, I would make sure that we went to visit the church house before we did anything else. We would go and we would sit in the church and listen to the preacher preach, And this is when they were all so little, my sister, everybody. And I got that from my grandmother. I used to make sure that every Sunday we went to church. Well, and being reviewed and being exposed to God, it grew inside me two things, a love for God and a love for my people. And as I began to develop and evolve and learning about different religion, I came upon Islam. And I like to say, I didn't choose Islam. Islam chose me. And just thinking back and reflecting on all the choices I could have made and all the different things I could have done, all the things I could have been, by adhering to that inner voice within oneself, by following the Spirit of God that allotted within me, that resonated with me. He guided me to a purpose that was beyond my wildest imagination. Although, it is said that your gift is so close to you that you won't even have to try hard to do it. I had already, as a child, and others remind me about it, and I'm enamored by it because I'm thinking like that was me. But there are so many people that tell me, you were helping and you was always doing something great or always giving a word when you were younger. And I think back like, really, me, But then I remember that that's all I ever knew. And, he had put that in me since I was a child, My grandmother noticed it. And that's the beautiful thing, There's always somebody that's going to notice that gift with you. And even as I grew up, other people pointed it out, but I wasn't fully ready to accept that calling. I wasn't ready to accept that this is what God wanted for me, because I felt like it was something that came so natural and it wasn't anything extra I had to do. So I always would think that it must be something big, or it must be something great, or it must be something that I haven't been exposed to. And as I grew into this wonderful creature of a human being kind to others and treating others the way I want to be treated, and applying the principles that I was learning in Islam and as a woman growing up, there were things that I come to understand that was shaping me. It was my life experiences, my relationship with God, my family, my friends, my sisters, believers. And it just stuck with me. And it was like, it just fit. As I grew, I come to realize that things just came together so easily when I applied different methods that was already in me and not tried to push something that wasn't. And I sit in front of you today because so many people are being drawn to the light that God put in me. And I am so in love with God first because He chose me to be that vessel for other people to see, for other people to appreciate, for other people to value. And I'm so humbled by that because that's not a lightweight thing. Growing up in the city of New York, St. Nicholas projects, running around up and down the street, I was never the aggressor. That's amazingly so. But yes, I had a lot of fights, but it was never because I was the aggressor. Amazingly so, in Islam, there's a principle that's taught that you aggress those who aggress you, or you fight with those who fight with you, but you never be the aggressor. So I never necessarily brought it, but when it was brought to me, I took care of my business. And then I took that same aggression, and when I learned to read and understand what I was reading, I used that same aggression into the word. And I began to understand that my aggressiveness or defensiveness was only as a result of what I could not articulate with my mouth. Because sometimes when you're growing up and you're younger, to all your youth out there, I could be a person that's done it too as a parent, when we get shut down as children and we are not allowed to express ourselves. As I was just sharing with my sisters, it came up in me, we're not allowed to express ourselves or to say what's on our mind. We grow up feeling repressed, and we grow up not being able to express the way we feel to the ones that we love. And this can sometimes hurt us, and it can sometimes hinder us. It can even hinder our growth and our development because it carries over into our personal relationships, as I have had several relationships in which I know that level of communication was not there, but God put in me the spirit to understand that communication is so very important in any relationship you have. If you don't have communication, you don't have anything. You have to be able to talk with the people you love. You have to be able to say what's on your mind, and you cannot be criticized or victimized or we like to say invalidated because of what you say, the way you say it, or how you say it. So I think that our parents did the best they could, and they did what they was taught, and they did what they were taught. And we could take it back as far as we would like to, but as you become an adult, you put away those childish ways and you become an adult. So now I'm in a position where I can teach others how to communicate, how to articulate their words from my own experience, my own life experience. I can teach others how to communicate with their significant other, their partners, or their family members. And it is such a great place to be because, and even in doing that, how to communicate with yourself, how to get out of you the greatness that lies within you, how to get to know yourself better, and how to pull out of yourself the qualities that lies within, but because you were not able to express yourself or articulate yourself, or because you were not able to talk with people that really were important to you, or you felt like you were invalidated, or your words weren't worthy, or your opinion wasn't accepted, or the importance of what you had to say was not necessarily important. Going back that far is amazing how God can use you from your own personal experience. We often wonder why we go through what we go through, never knowing that the reason why we are going through these things is because God is preparing us for something greater. We take our personal experience to heart and we wear it on our sleeves, because at that time, it's us going through it. But we don't know that God is preparing something greater for us. And I am so grateful and in love with God at this point in my life, because it is through the things that hurted me the most, through the things I learned from the most, through the things that I had to grow to understand the most, through the service or my service of helping and being there for others, that I have found my true purpose and why God put me here. And I can't begin to tell you how enamored I am by his amazing work in my life. And just knowing that when I meet people from, it don't matter where, from whatever country, whatever age they may be, whatever language they may speak, the impact that God allows me to have in their life is amazing. And the youth especially, it's amazing how much they are drawn to me. And I know that they are only drawn to me because I keep it real with them. I use my life examples. I give them what God puts on my heart, whatever message that is. And I empathize to the best of my ability. I try to understand, being around young gang members and young sisters that didn't have no value of themselves, and they're confused, they don't know which way to go. To be able to be an inspiration for them, I think is one of my greatest experiences. And, I'm just starting in this work. And I pray that he would bless me to evolve more and more and more. So in advance, I thank you all for your support. And I thank you all for encouraging me in this work, for inspiring me, for being examples for me. And, it's just like right now, let's keep on going. Let's get it. Let's go after our people. Let's raise the dead. Let's, bring the lost back to where they need to be. No matter how they choose to worship or serve God, as long as they serve God, that's the most important thing. And it is our job, us out there that are in the field of healing and helping and inspiring and empowering, is our job to just do what God puts on our hearts and be a vessel to those who are in need and in quest and in search for the greater good in themselves and in search for their purpose. God never makes no mistakes. He knows who each and every one of us are. God bless you and have a wonderful Sunday. Peace.